Okay, so get this. Today, we're going to take a deep dive into the world of business.
Oh, cool.
We've got a whole bunch of materials all about, those core principles, those fundamental things that really make businesses tick.
The fundamentals.
Yeah. So we'll be looking at what actually defines a business, right? Like what makes a business a business. Then we'll get into this whole thing about efficiency versus effectiveness.
Yes. Classic.
Right. Because those are different.
Totally.
We'll talk about productivity, how that kind of ties everything together. And of course, we got to talk about profit.
The bottom line.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people, they interact with businesses every single day.
Every day. Yeah.
But they don't always stop to think about what's going on behind the scenes.
What makes it all work.
Exactly. So we're going to break all that down.
Awesome.
So first things first, right? What is a business? Like what's the actual definition?
Well, at its most basic level, a business is really any kind of organized effort, where you're providing goods or services.
Okay.
And you're doing that to meet some kind of need that society has. But, and this is key, you're also doing it to make a profit.
Right. Because it can't just be a charity.
Exactly. So it seems pretty simple when you put it like that, right?
Yeah.
But trust me, there's a whole lot of complexity underneath that simple definition.
Oh, I bet. So like even something like, going to the supermarket,
Sure.
Woolworths, Kohl's, whatever, that's a business meeting a need.
Absolutely.
People need food.
Yep.
But they also got to price those groceries in a way that makes sure that they're actually making money.
Exactly. They've got to cover their costs, pay their employees, and still have something left over.
It's a balancing act for sure.
It is. And it's the same for any business, really.
Like think about it, right?
Yeah.
That coffee shop you go to every morning, the place you buy your clothes, even the airlines we fly on.
Exactly. Every single one of them is trying to figure out how to meet need and make a profit at the same time.
Okay. Now let's talk about something that always kind of trips me up. Efficiency versus effectiveness.
Yeah. Yeah.
I hear these words thrown around all the time, but are they really that different?
They really are. Think of it like this. Efficiency is about doing things right.
Yeah.
You're using your resources the best way possible, not wasting anything.
Gotcha.
But effectiveness is more about doing the right things.
Huh.
Like, are you actually achieving your goals?
So it's not just about saving money.
Not necessarily.
It's about making sure that whatever you're doing actually helps you reach your goals.
Exactly. A good example here is Toyota.
Oh, yeah.
They're famous for their whole lean manufacturing thing, right?
Right.
Where they focus on cutting out waste at every step.
Yeah. I've heard about that.
So that's like efficiency in action. But it's not just about being cheap. It's really about creating value by making the whole system better. From design and production all the way to delivery and customer service.
And this lean manufacturing, they've got all sorts of fancy terms for it, right?
Yeah, like just-in-time inventory.
I've heard of that.
That's where materials arrive just when they're needed, so you don't have stuff sitting around costing you money. Or Kaizen, which is this whole philosophy of continuous improvement, always looking for ways to make things better.
Wow. So Toyota is all about streamlining everything.
Right.
But you've got a company like Netflix.
Right.
And they're not necessarily worried about cutting costs in the same way. They're more focused on getting more subscribers.
Exactly. And keeping those subscribers happy.
Right.
So for Netflix, effectiveness is all about those subscriber numbers. It really shows how different businesses can focus on different things.
Depending on what they're trying to achieve.
Exactly.
Which brings us to productivity.
Oh.
And it seems like productivity is kind of like the bridge between efficiency and effectiveness.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it.
Like it's about getting the most output for whatever you're putting in.
Right. So the more productive you are, the more you can get done with the same amount of resources.
Or even less.
Yeah. And generally, that leads to higher profits.
Which is what every business wants.
Pretty much, yeah.
I mean, look at Amazon.
Yeah.
They've totally changed the way we shop. They've invested so much in automation.
Robots everywhere.
I know. It's crazy. The warehouses are run by robots and algorithms.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing how they get those orders out so quickly.
Super efficient.
But, it does make you wonder about the impact on jobs, right?
Yeah, that's true.
What happens to the people whose jobs are being taken over by machines? It's a big question.
Definitely something to think about. Okay, let's get down to brass tacks here.
Let's do it.
Profit.
Ah, yes.
In the simplest terms, it's the money a business makes after paying all its bills.
Right.
But there's got to be more to it than that, right?
There is. There are actually different types of profit. You've got your gross profit,
Okay.
which is just your revenue minus the cost of the stuff you sold.
Gotcha.
Then there's operating profit.
Mhm.
And that one factors in all those other costs like salaries, rent, all that.
Oh, yeah.
And then you've got net profit,
Yeah.
which is like the most complete picture. It takes everything into account, including taxes and interest and all that.
So each of these profit numbers tells you something different about how the business is doing.
Exactly.
So profit is what lets businesses grow,
Right.
invest in new things, and actually, succeed in the long run.
Absolutely. It's the fuel that keeps them going.
Take Apple, for example.
Okay.
They can charge a lot for their products, but people still buy them.
Yeah.
So they make tons of profit,
They do.
which means they can put more money into research,
Exactly.
explore new markets, and stay ahead of the game.
It's impressive.
It is. And it's interesting how the price of a product isn't just about the money.
It's not just about the numbers. Yeah.
It's also about the image.
Perception.
Yeah, like what kind of message are you sending about your brand?
Exactly. You're telling a story.
So we've covered a lot today.
We have.
We talked about what a business actually is.
Yep.
We got into the nitty-gritty of efficiency and effectiveness,
Mm-hmm.
the importance of productivity, and of course, the whole profit thing.
The bottom line.
Right. And hopefully, all this has given our listeners a better understanding of how the business world works.
I hope so. Yeah.
Because even if you don't run a business yourself, these concepts can be really useful.
Oh, absolutely.
So as you go about your day, think about how these ideas might apply to your own life, whether it's at work or even in your personal goals.
Yeah. Think about ways you can be more efficient or maybe more effective.
Yeah. Because you use some of these ideas like lean thinking to make things run smoother.
It's definitely worth considering.
Yeah, it's food for thought. And who knows, maybe you'll even be inspired to start your own business one day.
You never know.
Exactly.
It could happen.
Well, that's it for our deep dive into business fundamentals. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks, everyone.